educator, and I also run a monthly snail mail club called Greta's Post. 6 months ago, I started a snail mail club having absolutely no idea what I was doing. My artwork is inspired by animals and symbolism. It explores themes of relationships and the complexity of the human experience. Through my mail club, Greta's Post, I get to share my art in a more personal way, creating thoughtful mail that invites people to slow down and remain tender in a harsh world. Today, I wanted to share my story of why I started Greta's Post 6 months ago, what I've learned, and why I can't imagine stopping. Let's get right into it. Why I started Greta's Post. At the beginning of the year, my college graduation was quickly approaching. I was finishing my bachelor's degree in K-12 art education, and while I was incredibly excited, I was also kind of nervous. I've always been deeply passionate about both art and education. I love creating, but I also love teaching and making a positive impact on others' lives. Throughout college, there were several moments where I actually considered changing my major to something that suited more my personal art practice. But every single time, my love for teaching won out. As my graduation got closer, I knew that I wanted to pursue my career as an art teacher, but I also didn't want to lose my identity in my own artistic practice. I wanted to keep creating and sharing my work, as well as building a community that felt like my own. And Greta's Post became the answer to that. Having a mail club gave me a way to continue my art practice, while also creating something that aligned with what I value: creativity, connection, and creating a positive impact in others' lives. So a question I get asked is, why snail mail? Why not another art community? I could have started another online community, but I wanted to create something that was tactile, that people could hold in their hands. I also think there's something really special about having a monthly subscription and having something to look forward to each month, and having the month's mail be the actual experience. I also am really passionate about art being accessible for everyone, so I designed this club to be as affordable as I could. It's $9 a month, which includes free shipping worldwide and cancelable anytime you want. My goal is to create something that feels exciting, meaningful, and has as few barriers as possible for someone to join. The next question I get: what feeling are you trying to create? The intention I have behind Greta's Post has always been an invitation and a reminder to remain tender, and each month has a different theme, but they all connect back to that central idea: slowing down, noticing beauty, and choosing softness and compassion in our everyday lives. I wanted to create something that felt gentle and meaningful, a small moment that people could look forward to each month. As well as in our world today that's so full of technology and AI, I wanted to create something that encouraged slower living as well as genuine connection. Receiving something thoughtful in the mail can be a reminder to pause, reflect, and remain tender. Okay, now I want to tell you guys what has happened over the past 6 months of me running Greta's Post. When I sent out the very first edition of Greta's Post in March, I only had 6 members, and honestly, to me, it felt like the world. By the end of that month, the end of March, that number had grown to 16. The following month, it doubled to 32, and by May, we had reached 47 members. After I graduated from college in April, I spent May and June in a studio in Madrid, focusing on my personal art practice. Being away from my home studio honestly made it so much harder to market and promote my snail mail club. So growth naturally slowed. In June, we actually lost a member, so we went from 47 to 46, which was a good reminder to me that growth is not linear. But after returning home at the end of June and working really hard for July, our club made it to 58 members. Now, by all means, looking at those numbers might not feel huge compared to other snail mail clubs or other small businesses. But to me, every subscription represents a real person who chose to connect with me and my art. I'm so grateful for every single person who has joined Greta's Post. I recognize your names every month when I'm packaging, and I have such a wonderful time connecting with you guys on platforms such as YouTube and TikTok. It's still a small community, and I think that's part of what makes it so special. Now I want to go over some of my highlights of running a snail mail club. One of my favorite parts of Greta's Post has been creating and curating a new theme every month. The very first edition in March was about what it means to remain tender, which, like I said, is the overarching theme of my mail club. To trust, to care, to love deeply, and to stay open. I wanted it to be a reminder that softness isn't weakness, it's courage. In April, I explored the phrase, "but then it passed as all things do." This was a reflection on impermanence and resilience, a reminder that the hardest seasons do not last forever. May became an exploration of love, not romantic love, but the kind of love that's all around us that we may not even notice. It encouraged slowing down and paying attention to the abundance of love that already exists in our lives. June's collection focused on the sacredness of living beings and the meaning we can find in our shared experience of simply being alive. July was then a celebration of playfulness and authenticity. More than anything, it connects back to June's theme. We are all worthy, we don't have to be perfect, we can simply be good. In July, I asked my members to embrace themselves with openness, kindness, and compassion. Looking back at these collections really feel like a journal of my own life. Writing letters to you guys each month, thinking about you opening them, seeing the photos and videos of you unboxing your mail makes this all worth it to me. I really believe that one of the biggest gifts that Greta's Post has brought me is the community that we've built around it. I started this as a way to not lose myself in my elementary teaching career and to continue pursuing my art, but I really didn't realize how many genuine relationships I would build from it. It's been so meaningful to connect with you guys through the love of slower living, art, and creativity, as well as animals. Okay, why I am still doing Greta's Post after 6 months. What keeps me the most motivated is knowing that art that I make in my little home studio ends up in your home. That it arrives in your sweet little mailbox with my little letter every month giving you something to look forward to. In a world where everything happens almost instantaneously, it's really nice to have the build-up of the experience, send you your letter and know that it'll arrive to you in a few days sent with so much love. Even if it gives just one person a moment to slow down for a few minutes and enjoy some art, it's worth it to me. As my club continues to grow every single month, I hope that it maintains this personal feeling. I never want it to lose its heart. I want it to feel meaningful and like it came straight from me every month. I hope that each package stays intentional and made with thought and care. Looking ahead, I have so many ideas that I'm excited to create. I'm already started working on this next month's print. This next month will be a print on linoleum carving. Printmaking is one of my favorite mediums besides painting. Right now with this piece, I'm in the process of drawing and then I'll carve it and then I will print it. This piece I'm actually making for an exhibition. See if it ends up in your mailbox. Okay, I want to do a little section on frequently asked questions. Probably my most asked question is, what printer do you use? I have the Epson XP 1500, I think. I'll put a picture so you know the exact one. But for the past 6 months and just starting it up, not knowing if anyone was even gonna join my club, it's been amazing. It's been perfect. So we'll see if maybe in a few more months, maybe in the new year, I get a larger printer. But for now, she's amazing. I love the print quality. I can show you some of my prints. Saturation, the colors, I think it's works very beautifully. I would recommend this print month. I print all my letters, my art prints, everything on this printer, my stickers, and it's amazing. That goes into what do I use to cut my stickers. I use the Silhouette Cameo Alpha 5 and it's great. Another question that I get frequently is, what kind of paper do you use? I prefer my prints to be on thicker paper. If you can see, this is pretty thick. If you look up like a letterpress cardstock, that's the kind of thickness that I like. I like it to be very tactile. I love it to be textured to kind of add to the experience. That being said, some months I do use thinner paper depending on the type of print that it is. Almost all of my actual relief prints where I'm carving out of a block, they will be printed on my thickest paper so that you can get all the chatter marks. Chatter is basically an art term. It's just the leftover lines from the carving that picks up the remnants of the ink. You can see that's all chatter and I love that effect on my prints. So the heart of Greta's Post has always been the same and it will always remain the same, to remain tender and have compassion towards yourself and others around you. I hope whether you want to join my club or not that you carry this reminder with you. For those of you who do want to join and receive my art, I'll leave the information in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Lots of love. I'll see you next time.